Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is write from the textbook page 3 and 4, and those are just the properties of addition and multiplication. There are 6 that you need to know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll just go over those really fast with these examples at the bottom. But again, this stuff's really easy, and it's just a review of what you did last year, or in previous years anyways. The first one is called the closure rule, and it just says a plus b is a real number, and a times b is a real number. That's because a and b are real numbers, so you add them together, you get a real number. You multiply them, you're still going to get a real number. That's what that means. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Real, real, real. Commutative. This just means that it doesn't matter what order these numbers are in. A plus b is equal to b plus a times b is equal to b times a. So in this situation, let's say 2 plus 5 is equal to 5 plus 2. And that works for multiplication too. Okay, the next one's associative. It doesn't matter where you put the grouping symbols if they're all being added, like here. And it doesn't matter where you put it if they're all being multiplied. A times b grouped together times c is the same as a times the quantity b times c. I mean, if you take 2 times 4 times 5, you're still going to get 40. If you take 2 times 4 times 5, you're still going to get 40. Okay. It's helpful for me to plug in some real numbers to these because then it just makes more sense to me. When I just look at the letters, it gets a bit confusing and I don't really like it. My brain doesn't work that way. But if I put in some real numbers, it helps conceptualize it all for me. So when you're doing this, I suggest you do the same thing. The next one's identity. And it just says a plus 0 equals a. 0 plus a equals a. It just means if you add 0 to something, you get the something. Or if you multiply 1 times something, you just get the something. 7 times 1 is 7. Okay? 7 plus 0 is 7. That's the identity property. It keeps its identity. Okay? Inverse just says add the inverse, you get 0. Multiply by the inverse, you get 1. So 2 plus negative 2 equals 0. This is the same as saying 2 minus 2 equals 0. It's just the way we put it if we have to add it. 2 minus 2 equals 0. Or we can say 2 times 1 over 2 equals 1. And you guys know this stuff already. And the last one's just distributed. You've done that a ton in algebra. We don't need to talk about that here. Finally, you just got to say which one this is. You got to identify. So let's just do it really quick. So 2 times 3 times 9 equals 2 times 3 times 9. The grouping symbols are different, so it's just associative. And that's just because different numbers are associating with each other. That's why it's associative. Different numbers are associating. Okay, 15 plus 0 equals 15. 15 keeps its identity. It doesn't change. That's why it's the identity property. Okay, this next one, okay, distributed. And this one, 500 keeps its identity, so it's also identity.